What's up, real MVPs? Welcome into another edition of MVP Games Live right here on twitch.tv, or you might be watching us on YouTube. I'm Ricky Widmer, and I'm joined, as I always am, with my beautiful co-host, Soapy Muffin.
Hey.
Soapy, how you doing today on this beautiful Friday? I know...
Friday?
Or Monday, jeez. So here's the deal. The reason why I say Friday is... we were supposed to do a Friday show. We did not because the fucking wrestling podcast went too long. And we knew Sports Live was going to go way too long. So that's why it's like instinctually in me. I was like, ooh, Friday, because we didn't do a Friday show. No, but it is Monday. How you doing on the special Monday following everything that went down yesterday with our Hell in a Cell reactions?
I'm still in shambles, but I'm doing pretty good outside of that.
Soapy's like, you just got to keep moving on, man. Just stop bringing it up and keep moving on. It's the only way that things are going to get better, right, Soaps?
Sure.
Sure. Don't believe you, but sure. We got a jam-packed show for you guys today. A lot of great topics. Before we get into everything, though, quick little housekeeping. Number one, Discord. We have one. If you have not joined it, you are behind the 8 ball. Good thing, though, you can join it. Either link down below if you're on YouTube or exclamation Discord into Twitch chat gets you that link so that you can join the Discord, have conversations with everybody in the MVP family. Great conversations being had every single day. If you like the show, want to support us, patreon.com/MVPvids is how you go ahead and do that. You can also support us by subbing to us on Twitch, where we're live every Monday through Friday, twitch.tv/MVPvids, but we're also on YouTube at MVP Entertainment as well. So go ahead, follow us on Twitch, and sub to us on YouTube so you never miss anything from MVP. But Soapy, like I said, jam-packed show today. Got a couple of topics that have kind of been in the queue while we hadn't done a show on Friday. And the first one... this one, some people might be saying, guys, you're behind the 8 ball. This happened last week, but we hadn't been able to talk about it. And that is the AOC. So last week, AOC streamed Among Us on Twitch, set a Twitch record with 435,000 viewers to that stream. And Polygon has a little bit of information before we go into it. It says on Monday, U.S. House Rep, so this would have been last Monday, AOC tweeted about streaming the hit game Among Us, asking her followers if anyone wanted to play with her. By Tuesday night, she'd wrangled a group of high-profile streamers and amassed streaming equipment so she could broadcast it all live on Twitch from her own Twitch channel. The goal? To encourage people to vote in the 2020 election, specifically calling out the DNC's voter participation website, iwillvote.com. Playing alongside AOC were U.S. Rep. Ilhan Omar from Minnesota, and popular streamers like Pokimane. You had Dr. Lupo, Hassan Abi, which were some of the few that Polygon lists here. The stream quickly racked up viewers, reaching a peak concurrent viewer count of 435K. A Twitch spokesperson confirmed to Polygon AOC's debut Among Us stream is now within the top 5 most viewed individual streams in Twitch history. For reference, the top spot is held by Canadian musician Drake and Fortnite streamer Ninja, whose stream hit 635. So I misspoke. It wasn't number 1. It was number 5. I know for a fact that it was, I think Dave was talking about Tyler 1 had it like just beat out Tyler 1's big stream where he had over like the 400,000 viewers. But Soapy, the question I want to ask with this is, we know the reason why AOC was doing this. It wasn't just to play Among Us and kind of hang out with some streamers. There was a goal to this, to basically get the word out there of like, hey, go and vote if you haven't already. I watched the stream a little bit. I didn't watch all 3 hours, but I watched most of the beginning, and before they even started playing, AOC was really talking up like and going into detail how you go through the process to get registered, why it's important, stuff like that. The thing I want to ask you is, how important is this Twitch stream in just the grand scheme of things?
I mean, honestly, just to me, whenever the stream was happening at first, I was just kind of like, okay, I don't know why this needs to happen.
Yeah.
And I still kind of share the same mentality afterwards of where it's like, yes, it's teaching people how to vote and everything. That's something Google's for. Like, I get it's one of those things, it's encouraging people to vote. If people aren't going to vote, you're not going to get them to vote. Like, for instance, I'm not going to say their name.
Yeah.
But, like one of the people in our Discord have said before, like, that they don't vote.
Yeah.
You're not going to be able to convince them to vote just because, you tell them to vote. Like, that's my whole thing of, like, it's cool, and we'll probably see more of this type of stuff, which is going to get fucking annoying.
Is it like... Here's the thing, though.
Yes, because that's when you'll start getting people that literally don't game. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if AOC plays games.
Well, she mentioned she plays League of Legends.
Yeah. So it's one of those things of, like, we'll see AOC, and, like, we'll see, like, younger politicians do it, but, like, then we'll start seeing, like, older ones try. And it'll just be a fucking train wreck, and it's going to get annoying constantly just seeing those people on there. It's like, okay, so you're hijacking a platform for people wanting to broadcast their gameplay, basically for you just to come in and just be like, hey, you should probably do this. Like, it's just, to me, Twitch is not a place for, like, is not, like, a website for that. Well, obviously, that's just my opinion.
Yeah. To me, it's one of those things where it's like, I see where you're coming, because when I first tuned into the stream, and, like, I kept, like, you and I were actually talking in Discord while I was watching it, and I was, like, bringing up, like, oh, they're at 250,000. All right, they're at 300,000. Holy shit, they're at 350,000. And there was a part of me in my head where I was like, it was kind of that, like, if I was a streamer, and even one of the streamers on her, I can't remember if it was, I think it was either Hassan or Dr. Lupo, said that the joke of like, oh, look at these non-streamers coming in here, taking our records and stuff. But there was a part of me that's like, okay, this is something that's nice, but like, how many of these people, like you said, are now actually going to be like, hey, you know what, I have to go vote? There's a part of me too that was like, yeah, this is nice, but is it actually going to get across? And is it going to basically, the goal that you have set for it, is it actually going to achieve that? We won't know that until after Election Day. But the thing that I look at, and this is kind of on a side of not the not the go out and vote and telling people what to do or informing people. The thing that I think of is two things. Number one, when you say like, oh, well, it's nice that you wanted to tell people like how to register and stuff, but Google's for that. Well, what if you're someone like me who, when I go to look something up, like whether it's something in Photoshop, whether it's something with, oh, my Streamlabs isn't working, whatever it is, a troubleshooting problem, 99% of the time, I'm going to look for a video of someone talking and showing how to do it, rather than, oh, look at this text on a screen and I have to read it. So, like, there's a part of me that's like, there's that way of, like, maybe someone, like, actually hearing someone explain it to you. Okay, now I know it. Now there are videos out there that also tell you how to register and vote for stuff. This wasn't the only part. The other thing I think about is, like, you mentioned it. Are older politicians going to do this? Like, when Hillary Clinton did the whole, we've mentioned it a ton of times, the Pokemon go to the polls, that was a cringe thing. Like, we all cringed, like, oh, Grandma Hillary, don't do that. Like, you're not cool. Maybe it's because AOC is closer to the age range of the demographic of Twitch, where she's like, what, I think she's a year or two older than I. So what, she's like 31, 32, which is not that far from the millennial Gen Z viewers that you're going to see on Twitch. So yet again, there's a lot of people that rally to where it's like they're fans of AOC. You get to see the personality of AOC. But on the same side of it, to where it's like, okay, you know what? Maybe this whole, like, maybe there's someone who's 29 and younger who might have saw this, and more towards like the 18, like closer to the bottom range of that age group that saw this and was like, well, you know what? I've had this jaded view of politics. Maybe it is important that I register the vote and get involved, because look at this person who, I will say, she's very personal. She has a great personality around her. She was entertaining on the stream to where it's like, yeah, if fucking Mitt Romney did it, I don't know if Mitt Romney would have the same kind of effect, but maybe she did enough on the stream to actually achieve part of the goal that she was trying to get across.
Yeah, and my whole thing is just, and obviously, once again, this is all just personal.
Yeah.
I view it as, I don't need to see a politician do something for me to want to vote. If you don't want to vote, you're not going to want to vote. Like, me seeing AOC in the Twitch stream didn't make me want to vote any more than I already wanted to.
Yeah, good point.
Now, obviously, I was in the mindset of, like, I was going to vote anyways. But it's one of those things of, like, and I don't want it to sound like an attack on people. Like, if you're fickle enough to have it that seeing a politician be a person is enough to get you to vote, understand that's every politician. Every politician on camera is going to be all prim and proper, unless we get the we get the situations with some of them.
Yeah.
Where but it's it's one of those things of, like, seeing a person's personality should not make you have to be like, you know what, I like politics now. It's like, it's kind of common knowledge that all these people are, like, basically putting on like the prim and proper look and everything. Yeah. Like, it's just, in my opinion, I don't view it as, like, it's cool. Like I said, it's cool.
Yeah.
But it's not going to get someone who doesn't care about politics to vote.
Let me ask you this then. And this is to me where, so I asked you, how important is this? Well, the exact title that we're putting out there is like, how big of a deal this stream is. Like, is it a big deal, medium deal, little deal? And there's a part of my head that thinks for this year, for getting people to vote, this stream might not be a big deal. It might be something where there might be some people that go ahead and register to vote. They do go ahead and do so because of this. That's great. But there's a part of me that thought, and yet again, it's hard to tell in like a stream like that, because like I was watching chat the whole time, and like I was even talking to you about, there were a lot of the AOC simps, the Yas Queens, the AOC 2028s out there. So it kind of was like, it was filled with her fans. But there's a part of me that wonders, and yet again, now this is taking it and going into a realm we usually don't get into, but for this it kind of relates to it because we're talking about it, is can something like this Twitch stream that she did have positive ramifications for her in the future if, let's say, after Biden, after Trump, whoever wins this November, whoever wins, if she puts her hat, her ticket in the ring to be president of the United States?
I mean, I don't think it changes anything.
Okay.
It's because, they can say...
Like, you don't think it makes her, like, I don't want to use the word personal, but it puts her out there to a younger generation now to kind of get a positive image in their heads before she even runs in the future, or might run in the future?
Yeah. And like, obviously it gets your name out there, but once again, it's when it comes to the election, don't vote someone on personality. Vote them on their politics. And that's the main thing of, like, she's being put out there, but that also means now people are going to put her more under a microscope of where they're going to be like, oh, this is her personality. This is what her political beliefs are. And it's one of those things, for instance, she does lean more towards the socialist side. So, for instance, you're going to have older people hate her solely off of that. You're going to have people who are like, like, I like her personality, don't really care for your politics.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to have people like that. Just because people know who you are doesn't mean I'm going to be like, oh, I want to vote that guy.
Well, not just know who you are, but the one thing I will throw out there is, you're right where the policy is important because obviously that's what they're going to want to do if they're in office. But like, we've now seen it maybe 2 times in a row where Hillary, the big thing about Hillary, especially for me, was I fucking hated her guts. Whenever she talked, did not trust her. I was just like, you're feeding me lies. But like a guy like Bernie, he spoke to me. He got across to me. So like to me, where you say like, oh, it's like it should be just policy. I think personality kind of plays into that because obviously you don't want someone to hate you. But like you said, maybe something like this, people start diving into the policies more and put her a little bit more under a microscope.
Yeah, and once again, it's just one of those things of like it was going to happen no matter what. Mm-hmm. No matter what politician did it, this was going to happen.
Yeah.
Because, for instance, if someone in the Trump administration went on live, would have got views. If Bernie did it, gone live. Biden, blow up.
Let's be honest,
like all these different people.
The only one in the Trump administration that people would want to see is Trump himself, and that's only his fans that would want to see that.
I mean, you know, there's a lot of people tune in because the fact they want to hear the weird shit he says.
Good point. I would be watching just to hear what stupid shit he says.
Yeah, because for instance, there was the thing of where it was when they had 2 of the different speeches going on for Biden and Trump.
The town halls.
Yeah, Trump had 5 times the amount of people watching him. But most of those people, I 100% bet, were people who were just like, "Oh shit, I want to know what stupid shit he's about to say."
Hey, I'll admit to that. Dave and I were in Discord watching the Trump town hall, just reacting to everything he was saying, and I was like, I switched over to Biden a couple times. I was like, you know what? I'll watch Biden's later to see what he said, and kind of like, because that's the thing. Biden was more of like, I want to hear what you're saying because I want to know what you're going to be like as a candidate. Trump was more of like, I just want to hear what dumb shit you're going to say.
Yeah. But to bring it back more towards the gaming side.
Yeah.
It's I just personally don't view this Twitch stream as that impactful.
Mm-hmm.
Like the only thing I can really see...
Do you see it as like an outsider? Like coming in and basically reaping, I don't want to say reaping the rewards, but like basically looking at it of going like, this stream does not help Twitch, does not help the gaming side at all. It just is its own thing. It happened, and then move on.
Yeah, I just view it as an outsider thing. Like, obviously, I'm not one of those people who are like, outsider bad. Like, dude, anyone's allowed to stream on Twitch. You can do whatever you want. Mm-hmm. It's just one of those things where I'm worried more about the ramifications that are going to come afterwards. Yeah. Of now more people are going to keep doing it. Mm-hmm. To where then it's slowly going to turn away from being like, hey, this is a place that people stream video games, to like, hey, politicians come on here and basically campaign on here. The one thing I did find funny, and this is the last thing I'll say about it before we move on to the next topic, is one of the things I know AOC fought was the military advertising on Twitch, because she was like, one of her big things was, oh, they're targeting a very impressionable age range. And then it was like, oh, we need people to vote. Here, let's go on to, like, how do we reach these kids? Go to Twitch. And I was just like, yeah, there's a ton of shady shit about how, like, the military recruits. I'm not fucking looking into that. I'm not talking about that. Not qualified to talk about that. I just found it funny that it's like, you're going to bash this side for going to Twitch to try to reach the younger audience. But then what are you going to do when you got to reach the younger audience? You're going to go to Twitch. Yeah. And obviously, you know, some people are going to view it different. Mm-hmm. For instance, for me, I don't really care about either. Yeah. Like, it's one of those things, the military's going to keep doing it no matter what.
And like Dave says in Twitch chat, apples and oranges, they're not exactly the same thing, but that was just a thought that popped into my dumb brain. Any final thoughts on this before we move on, Soaps?
I mean, I can't wait to see in like fucking 4 more years when someone else does this.
Be careful how you say 4 more years. Someone might think you're wishing for a certain something, Soapy, if you say the words 4 more years. But I understand what you're saying, to see what could come from this in the future. Next thing we're talking about, and this is something that I am gonna get a little passionate about because it's we're just gonna get into it. So according to VideoGameChronicle.com, a creative director at Google Stadia, or Google Stadia, as we have called it here on MVP, has argued that content creators should pay developers and publishers royalty for streaming their games. Alex Hutchinson, who was the creative lead behind big-budget games such as Far Cry 4, Assassin's Creed 3, and The Sims 2, made the statement in a series of tweets published last Thursday. The designer argued that video games are the only entertainment industry allowing content creators to stream their content without any return of profit. Hutchinson's Montreal-based studio, Typhoon, which released its first game, Journey to the Salvage Planet, this year, was acquired by Google to join its Stadia division. Here's two of his tweets. Streamers worried about getting their content pulled because they used music they didn't pay for should be more worried by the fact that they're streaming games they didn't pay for as well. It's all gone as soon as publishers decided to enforce it. The real truth is the streamer should be paying the developers and publishers of the game they stream. They should be buying a license like a real business and paying for the content they use. Soapy, this is the stupidest shit I've ever heard. And Alex Hutchinson, I don't know who you are, but this is an idiotic statement, and it's just, like I said, the stupidest thing I have ever heard. This is exactly the first thing I thought of was fair use. And yes, a game is technically a copyrighted material, but it's not like the streamer is taking your game and making it their own. They are doing exactly what fair use says. They are adding to your game. On that side alone, push that to the side. If you go ahead and do it by this way, you're basically killing off most of indie games, most of smaller games, because who's going to fucking see them? Who's going to fucking see them? Nobody. Streaming to me is one of those things where, yes, you have the big games, you have the big personalities, but it's also a way for people to see your game. They see your game. They see how cool it is. It's it's basically this streamer, somebody that they trust. For example, Markiplier. He's a streamer that I used to watch, or a YouTuber, I should say, content creator that I used to watch a lot of. He was somebody that if he played a game and he was like, this is a good game while playing it, I took his word for it because I have spent time watching him that I believe if he says it's good, it's good. Plus, I can actually see it for my own. I don't know about you, Soapy. Maybe this is just going to be an echo chamber of us saying the same stuff, but I just think this was the stupidest remark in the world. This would absolutely kill the game industry and would be terrible for it.
Yeah, it's echo chamber city in here.
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen a man get ratioed so often on Twitter. Dude, it was bad. Every tweet got ratioed.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just one of those things of where it's... I don't want to say play devil's advocate, because there's no way in hell you can play devil's advocate to this.
Mm-hmm.
I can see where he's coming from, but at the same time, it's also one of those things of the gaming industry is nowhere near the same as the movie industry or music.
Yeah. Well, I'll put it this way. It's for example, the big thing on YouTube that you see is for example, we got hit with copyright claims a lot when I did my NFL breakdowns, where I actually looked at film of prospects. But that's also you get the weird thing of cable companies and there are actual paywalls to things where technically the way he put it, when he was in here, let's see, they use music they didn't pay for, should be more worried in the fact that they're streaming games they didn't pay for. Well, then how did they get the fucking game? Are we saying that all games now are illegally downloaded? Is that what we're saying? Games are illegal? Because most of these streamers are either given the game by the fucking company, or if they're not given the game by the company, they have to buy the game in order to play it. So where are you coming from with this?
Yeah, that's just the thing of where that guy's just fucking dumb.
Mm-hmm. Or he's salty for some reason.
Well, dude, if I fucking helped develop the Stadia and no one bought the fucking thing, I also would be mad.
Yeah, like, I mean, we were hyped for the state. Like, I don't want to say hyped. I'm talking
French?
like I'm talking about like MVP, because I know Dave and I when we did Too Old to Game was when the Stadia was coming out, and it was so. I would have to look back at the clips, but I believe it was kind of like we wanted to get hyped for it. It was just a kind of cynical, like, is cloud gaming going to work? Like, if it works, great, hype city on this, but like, is this going to be viably possible? And ever since the Stadia's come out, it looks like it's been not viably possible, and there's been no hype city behind it.
Well, yeah, it also doesn't help that Stadia came out shortly after the absolute failure of the Steam machine.
Yeah, good point.
So it's one of those things of, basically, that's why people are like, all right, cool, if anyone besides like the 3 companies who make consoles make one, we're not fucking buying it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just one of those things of, with this guy, or with, I don't even care to know his name, I don't care.
Yeah.
It's basically, he needs to realize that, once again, like I said, it's different than the music and movie industry, because the whole thing of, one,
mm-hmm.
if I see someone stream a movie, I'm not going and buying the fucking movie. I'm not going to be like, man, you know, that guy who watched fucking, I don't know, Teletubbies 2, fucking Adventure in Time or some stupid shit.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know if that's actually a movie. But, like, let's say that was a movie. I'm not going to be like, man, I watched that guy review that movie, he streamed that movie, I'm going to go buy that fucking movie. No!
Mm-hmm.
I saw the fucking movie one time, I'm good. And, like, and it's just, I don't understand where he's basing the claim off of, because with music, you can I can see the argument in a sense for music, because a lot of people just use Spotify, and a lot of people, well, the thing with Spotify is, though, you technically don't have to pay for Spotify. That's the only problem, and like that's the only area he has. But if I pay for premium, I'm technically paying for the music.
Yeah, but here's the thing with music, and like the thing I bring up with this is GS Music. This is a tweet that they responded to Alex's tweet, and they say, I have to agree with this. We warned the 6 months in advance. We opened licenses, purchased forums, and we come to this. Our emails filled with streamers mad about something they don't own. Take a look at our side. We need to pay our artists for their songs that they made. Well, these streamers, like, okay, if you're downloading like what Napster, LimeWire, like that shit, like if you're going to torrent music, you're stealing music. We're stealing music if we do that. And if I'm going to play music on a stream, though, I know that technically, like you brought up Spotify, technically you can just go to a playlist on YouTube and fucking play a playlist of songs that someone made on YouTube. But like, here's the thing with that, and this is where the whole money thing comes in, is like, I know that the artist wants to get paid, but the whole thing about how artists get paid, because in my lifetime, I've had the privilege to talk to many musical artists through when I was in college radio. I got to talk to a lot of artists, and a lot of them said the same thing, where it was the whole them not making enough money came from the record labels, these music companies, taking more of a cut from the artist. So like when I see like a GS Music, I'm not talking for them. I'm like speaking like maybe like a Jive Records and stuff. It's like, are you looking to get your artist more money? Are you looking to get you more money, but give your artist the same cut that you would be giving them? Because I even look at music on a stream as the same thing I said about gaming of, all right, someone hears my song on a game or on a stream. Oh, cool. I really like that. They done check out my shit. I have now gained a fan, which then can lead to them either buying my music, buying my merch, t-shirts, anything like that. And like, that's the thing I kind of think about. It's like a streamer doing things. I'm like, maybe I'm like this because streamers aren't stealing the content. They're not like, oh, this is my content. It's more of like a microphone of like, hey, I'm playing this game. I want to broadcast that to you. I'm listening to this song. I want to broadcast that to you.
Yeah, and once again, it's like, obviously I do agree with you on this. Mm-hmm. It's more like some kind of playing devil's advocate.
Yeah.
In a sense of where it doesn't just sound like it's only agreeing. Because obviously, like, yes, it does come off as free advertisement, but once again, it's still free.
Yeah.
Like, it's every time you stream their song, they're not making money off it. Like, obviously, and once again, I am specifying for like the 500th fucking time, because there's going to be someone who's like, Soapy sounds like a fucking idiot. There's going to be one of those people out there. Push up your glasses
when you do it.
Yeah, I don't wear glasses, but if I did, they'd be pushed up to the fucking brim. Like, it's just one of those things of, like, I can see where it comes from with the music side. Obviously, don't agree with it.
Yeah.
But it's just, this guy just sounds petty. He sounds like he doesn't understand how it works, which is kind of bad, because if you work in an industry where someone would be streaming games, I'd expect you to know.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, there are some streamers who just straight up just do illegal shit. Like, people have streamed, like, full episodes of TV shows and stuff like that without having permissions to do so.
Yeah.
And those channels deserve to be striked. And then people they're like, oh, it's unfair to those guys. No, fuck those guys.
Yeah.
That's actually, like, a reasonable strike. But, like, for instance, there's a streamer I watch, I'm not going to say the actual name.
Yeah.
Because I don't, no free advertisement. He had to delete over 1,000 clips on Twitch so his channel wouldn't get deleted.
Because he would you would watch like stuff on his stream and have it on there.
Well, no, like, for instance, he'd have like music or something. There would be copyrighted music in the game. And since there was the DMCA bots going around, and basically they would just go everywhere, and he would just get fucking like hundreds of emails at the same time, talking about strikes, and he's like, all right, to make sure my channel doesn't get shut down, I have to delete them.
Well, that's like, you reminded me of when I was playing the Arkham games on our YouTube channel, like a long time ago. There's the scene in one of them, I think it's Arkham Knight, maybe, where the Joker is like he's getting cremated and was gonna like burn alive, and they're playing a Frank Sinatra song. Our channel got flagged for it. Not like one of those where it's like, oh, this is an actual strike, but just one of those like, well, this video got claimed. You have copyrighted music. And I was like, but it's a part of the game. I didn't even play it on my own. It was just a part of the game. To where like I said, this is the stupidest thing in the world. The gaming industry, like we said, it's different from music is kind of murky. Movies is their own thing because of the fucking like actual box offices that you have to you actually have to go to a movie theater right now. That's kind
or
of
go through a streaming service that you paid for.
Yeah, exactly. To where it's like that's a little bit different, but I've seen fucking channels and content creators do that. Like, I will actually say this one because they're a great podcast. You should check them out. Dave got them, got me hooked on them. It's a podcast called the Caravan of Garbage, or as they say it, the Caravan of Garbage, because they're Australians. To where it's these two guys and they talk about a movie, and in their YouTube video, they have small clips of the movie. Now, yet again, I don't know. Like, I know there's a copyright rule that if the clip is like under 10 seconds, you can use it. So maybe they're playing into that. Maybe it's also the fair use claim of like, hey, we're adding to it. We don't even have sound on it. It's just the fucking scene showing. Yet again, not a lawyer. That's why I'm not an expert. I'm just rambling of this to where it's like, gaming is different. If you're a game studio, especially a smaller game, you want your game to be shown out there. You want people to see it because it's like, oh, maybe now I want to go. and play this game. So like for me, Soapy, you agree, stupidest thing in the world for this guy to have said that. But let's go ahead and move on. The next thing we're going to talk about is Phil Spencer was in the news late last week. This is from IGN. He was speaking with Straight Shuri via The Verge. Spencer said, "I think you're going to see lower priced hardware as part of our ecosystem when you think about streaming sticks and other things that somebody might want to just go plug in their TV and go play via xCloud. You could imagine us even having something that we just included in the Game Pass subscription that gave you the ability to stream xCloud games on your television and buying the controller." It's worth pointing out that Spencer is speaking somewhat hypothetically at this point, but it wouldn't be a surprise to see Microsoft leverage its streaming resources beyond high-priced consoles and smaller screened mobile devices. Soapy, do you think we will ever get to a day where Microsoft or PlayStation or any of these gaming companies kind of go the Amazon Fire Stick route, the Roku TV route of like, hey, here's an Xbox streaming stick, you plug it into your TV, you have an xCloud controller, and then boom, instead of playing an Xbox, you could just have Game Pass and play all those games right on your TV.
If any company does it, it's definitely going to be Microsoft, because Sony's still stuck in their ways of the console war. Microsoft's moved beyond it, and at this point, they're just going all, everyone should be able to play video games. I would not be surprised if in the next couple of years we see Microsoft do that. You know, and it's one of those things. I'm happy for it. Like, obviously, once again, it's one of those things where, like, I'll buy an Xbox anyways, no matter what.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where, like, I know people would look at this as, like, oh, they're completely abandoning the Xbox. Which they're not, because they're still coming up with consoles. Like, they're making it more available. Like, the whole thing is they're going to be like, oh, there are people who don't want to buy an Xbox, but they still want to play a video game or something. Like, that's kind of what they're going for. And I can't wait to see what Microsoft decides to do.
Or could it be because of a profit thing? Like, for me, I'm a little skeptical on this. And the only reason why I'm skeptical on it, like, I know that on the TV side, you have, like I said, the Roku TV, Amazon Fire Sticks, and those work. If they didn't work, no one would be selling them, no one would be buying them. But with gaming, like, gaming's a little bit different than TV, to where correct me if I'm wrong, Soapy, maybe I'm off on this, but like, streaming a TV series on Netflix is very different file size, bandwidth than, hey, I'm going to try to play an entire game via the cloud. And like, maybe it's because cloud gaming hasn't really hit yet. Like, I'm not ready to say cloud gaming is dead and will never happen. But like, I was talking to my sister's boyfriend over the weekend when we got together for my dad's birthday. He even said, like, the big problem with cloud gaming is not everyone has the same access to the high-speed internet speeds that you need. Like Dave even mentioned when we were talking about Google Stadia when we used to do Too Old to Game. We had brought up like, well, yeah, if you've got Google Fiber, no problem. But not everyone has that. And are we at the Wi-Fi capabilities to where it is possible? And that's why, to me, like, when you talk about a streaming stick, I would love for this to be possible, where it's like everything's on the cloud. All you have is your little fucking stick that you put into your TV screen, and then boom, I can play everything, because it cuts hardware costs for the company. They don't have to be paying to have these behemoth of systems being built. It can even be cheaper on our end as a consumer, to where we don't have to pay $400 for an entire system. We pay like, what, maybe $15-$20 for the actual stick. About, what would it be, 25 for the controller, and then boom, you're buying either for Xbox, you're buying Game Pass, but then the real AAA titles, it would be like, what, $40 to $60, depending on how they want to do it for those games.
Yeah. And obviously, that's why I was saying, like, I think that is something more down the line.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, once again, there needs to be there needs to be a massive shakeup with how Wi-Fi companies are held accountable.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen,
Mm-hmm.
but Wi-Fi companies need to be held accountable. Like, they should not be able to get away with, like, oh, if I'm paying for this internet, I should get that internet. It shouldn't be, oh, well, you don't have this,
Yeah.
so you don't get the best internet possible. It's like, like, for instance, if I'm paying for, obviously this isn't like really good internet. If I'm paying for like 30 megabytes per second or something like that, like, let's say I'm paying for 30 megabytes per second, that should be what I get. But with internet companies, that's when they're like, oh, actually, no, you're getting about 10, take it or leave it. And it's like, no, that's stupid. That should not be a thing.
Yeah. And I mean, and that's why I'm fucking just skeptical on it, to where it's like, how long is it going to take us to get there? That's where I'm at right now.
Yeah. And obviously, once again, I mean, fuck, dude, who knows? Maybe Microsoft breaks into the Wi-Fi industry, too.
Maybe.
They may as well at this point.
Maybe. Like, with me, like, and I'll ask you this. This is a little bit off the streaming stick, more of on cloud gaming. How many years would you put it on, like, a Stadia, a Luna, a xCloud, actually working to the point to where it's like it's viable and it's in multiple households working without a problem?
And see, I will say that actually does kind of become a tough question because of how fast technology is advancing now. Like 10 or so years ago, it would have been like, oh, like 20 years or something like that. Yeah. But now it's like, fuck, dude, like, we're advancing really quickly right now. Like, I'm going to say 6 to 7 years.
Okay.
And the only reason is because I think it's going to be one of those things that as time goes on, internet is going to be something we're more easily able to control. Yeah. I think also by that point, I think we see a shakeup in the internet industry and stuff like that. Like, I think we see, like, basically one of the behemoths actually start to, like, really take control. Because obviously, like, for instance, people get pissed at AT&T all the time. I wouldn't be surprised if AT&T is the one that goes down. And I wouldn't be surprised if someone like Xfinity came in and was like, okay, cool. Now our competition basically is fucked. Here we go.
Yeah.
And go all out.
I mean, Xfinity is the big one. To where, like, right now, they are the, like, when my Xfinity works, because sometimes it doesn't, very fast internet. I can do whatever I want on this. Dave says 3 years. I would hope it, like, 3 years would be great in my mind. For me, I think about yet again, like Soapy, you brought up, all it takes is one company to say, yes, we're going to do it. For me, like, I asked you a question I can't even answer myself because of the whole fact of the thing that to me predicates that answer is how long is it going to take everyone to be able to get the same speed of an internet? Dave also brings up a good point. Depends on any government intervention. If Biden gets in and forces some level of standard access to North America, that could make sense. Because, correct me if I'm wrong, Soapy, maybe Dave can answer this too in Twitch chat, or anybody in Twitch chat, of under Trump, wasn't it under Trump these last 4 years of the whole net neutrality thing? Where the net neutrality. Was it the FCC basically killed net neutrality?
I will say with net neutrality, that wasn't something that Trump wanted to do.
No, I'm just saying that was just something that during his presidency. That's what I'm saying.
I think it happened like before it.
Okay.
Because then there was the whole thing of where then afterwards they wanted to then start policing the internet like really hard.
Yeah.
because I think that was the one that started within the last 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the net neutrality thing was before.
Okay. Yeah, because it's just
obviously once again, Dave is the guy to ask that because Dave's big brain.
Dave's big brain. Okay, Dave says net neutrality is a different thing. All right.
That's more or less of what you can do on the internet.
Okay, what you can post on the
internet.
internet.
For instance, with net neutrality and stuff like that, it would be like if you make a racist comment on the internet, you can actually get in serious trouble for it and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
It's the only problem is, do you want the government having that information?
Because I remember even
that's where a lot of people were coming from.
Because I remember during that time, people were talking about like, oh, do you want your internet provider to basically like cut your service because you did this one thing or said this one thing online? So that's why I asked.
It's almost like accountability is a thing. It should be a thing.
Like, is net neutrality kind of into that? But let's move on into last things we're talking about today. Little shorties but goodies to end the show. And Soapy, the first one, and I'm actually going to go ahead and let's see if I can do this. I'm going to overlay is done. I'm going to put this over us because I know neither you nor I are Uncharted fans, Soapy, but we got our first kind of.
Okay, don't be throwing around some slander.
I'll say this: I have not played the Uncharted games. I remember you saying you have not. Oh, my thing.
I have played them.
I can't hear you.
It's the only thing is I don't have a way to play them.
Okay, all right. Then I misspoke, obviously, Soapy. But basically, what we're talking about is we got fucking our first look, 3 set photos, 2 of them here. And then the big one is we get to see Tom Holland with Nolan North. Soapy, should this raise the hype levels for the Uncharted movie?
I mean, sure. My whole thing is I'm more fucking hyped for the Last of Us TV show.
Yes.
Fuck this thing. The only reason I'm saying fuck this thing, like, honestly, the only reason I'm saying fuck this thing is mostly just as more of like a meme. But it's also like, it's cool that something like this is happening. But once again, how many times have video game adaptations into movies sucked dick? I'll tell you this.
No.
It's quite a bit.
I mean, hey, the Sonic movie didn't suck dick.
Okay, name other ones.
No, I know. There are tons of them.
The only other one, and I shit you not, and it sounds weird, is the Tomb Raider games, and it's not even based on any of the games. Because otherwise, it's like Ready Player One, even though that was a book, sucked.
Ready Player One wasn't terrible.
It was not good, though.
Was it not? Like,
it was okay.
I thought it was good. Like, it wasn't amazing. It wasn't like 5 out of 5. Dave says Mortal Kombat original. Fuck yeah.
All right, what about the other Mortal Kombats?
The Mortal Kombat original, Dave, and I'm asking Dave straight through Twitch chat. Those don't exist. The Mortal Kombat original, was that the one where fucking was it Gordo, the guy with like the multiple hands, got fucking dick kick city'd by the main character that I can't cage? I think it was. Okay, yeah, I remember watching that.
That's how you bring down any undefeatable creatures. Just blast their balls into oblivion with your feet.
I remember watching that movie in Dave's basement as we were kids. Yeah, it got punched in the nuts by Johnny Cage. I think he do the splits and then bam, right in the ball.
Yep, because that's one of the moves that Johnny Cage does in the fighting games.
Okay, yeah, like I said,
he does the splits and punches you in the dick.
It's where WWE gets all their creative. Oh man, Soapy. The other thing is, I want to ask you this because I don't know this question. Have you ever played the game Celeste?
No.
Soapy, you have some homework. Because here's the lineup coming to Xbox Game Pass in November. You're going to have Carto on October 27th, which is tomorrow. Then you're going to have Day of the Tentacle Remastered. Five Nights at Freddy's, that's going to be on the 29th. Full Throttle Remastered. Grim Fandango Remastered. Pub Unknown, or basically PUBG. That's on Android. Scourgebringer, Unruly Heroes, Celeste. You need to play Celeste. You need to play
the only one there I
Celeste.
give a single fuck about is Grim Fandango.
You have Kamache, not done. Kamache, Deep Rock Galactic, Earthshade, Knights and Bikes, Ark Survival Evolved, and that's the end of the list.
See, the only reason I care about fucking Grim Fandango is one, so I can just spend half the game getting pissed off that everything I try to combine with each other in a point-and-click game doesn't go together.
But that's your homework. You have to play Celeste because it's a great game.
Do I though?
Game of the year from 2018.
It didn't win the award,
dude, so Soapy. I'm telling you, I played this game, and so it is like a side-scrolling platformer kind of a game, kind of with a little puzzle aspect into it. But
so it's like Ori and the Wisp.
I never played Ori and the Wisp, so I can't. Like,
it's basically a side scroller.
Yeah, it's a side scroller that you're like you're moving like up. You're moving sideways, but then like up. You have to like solve puzzles throughout the level to get up. You need to play this game. The story of it hit me to where it impacted me. It fucking like it's one of those where it's like it's a game you have to experience. And now that you can play it for free, Soapy, because you have Game Pass, I'm telling you, you have to play it. You have to play it. And I'm not even saying that as like a trying to tell you what to do. It's just this game was awesome. And I loved it. And it's one of my favorite games of all time. That's why I put this story on there. Because I thought you had said you'd never played Celeste.
I mean, dude, all I'm going to be doing is just playing Grim Fandango and listening to the Fandango sit there and say to me every time. I can't do that. I can't do that, dude. That's gonna be the whole fucking game.
You can play both.
I'm gonna be hooked.
You can play both of them. No,
absolutely not.
Next thing, Soapy, we have Spider-Man, and the thing we have about Spider-Man, very quick. I'm gonna put it here. Whoop! I got rid of us. I did not mean to get rid of us. I meant to get rid of the overlay because over us, I'm gonna put another picture. If my mouse will cooperate with me, we've got. Right there on your screen, the newest skins, or one of the newest skin. It is called the Crimson Cowl for Miles Morales. It looks fucking dope as shit. It's just basically the Miles Morales suit with kind of what looks like it's got a little like biker leather jacket thing going on with a red cowl over his head. I think it looks dope. And then the other one is this bad boy, this white one here, which is the Trek suit. So we're getting a look at two suits that are going to be in the Miles Morales game. Cannot wait for that one. Like I said, they look dope as shit. So I can't wait to get my hands on that game. Soapy, I turned us off again. This has been a shit show on my end. Soapy, the next thing, this is all for you.
Oh, wait, okay. Can I say at least one last thing?
No, go ahead.
The Spider-Gwen, or the tracksuit kind of looked like Spider-Gwen's suit.
Kind of.
A little bit.
Yeah, I could see that. It was just red instead of pink for Spider-Gwen, so good point there. Soapy, the next one's for you. Borderlands 3 Designers Cut new skill trees revealed. This is from IGN. 2K has revealed 2 new skill trees coming as part of Borderlands 3's Designers Cut, which is coming as part of the game's second season pass this November. The 2 new skill trees are for Vault Hunters, Amara and Flak. The first.
By the way, this one's a little out of date. By the way, all four Vault Hunters got a new skill tree.
Go ahead, talk about it. You're the Borderlands 3 guy. That's why I put it out there. I wanted you to talk about it a little bit.
All right, so time for the Borderlands nerd to explain some Borderlands. All right, so Flak basically, all his skill trees focused on the green tree was survivability, red tree was about doing the most damage as possible, and the blue one was kind of doing like it's basically a really shit way of making his pet strong. Mm-hmm. The purple tree basically says, "No, fuck that. Flak and his pet are fucking unkillable now." Of whereas, for instance, Flak is able to give his pet like certain buffs that they didn't have before, where they're faster, they do more damage. Mm-hmm. Flak can give his pet a copy of his shield. So, for instance, there are shields like the Impaler that you can have. That now it's if you and your pet get shot with like by weapons or anything, it's like needles will go out and attack them. Basically, it's hell. Yeah, it's basically like anyone who's experienced with Borderlands. There was a skill in Borderlands 2 for the Necromancer, where she could give Death Trap a copy of her own shield. It's basically that, but it's like halfway down the skill tree instead of like the final thing. And it adds a new pet for him where he has a pet loader, which is basically one of the robots from Borderlands 2. It could be an ion loader, a bull loader, and a war loader. The ion loader shoots a laser at people. The bull loader basically does the bulldozer thing that it would do in Borderlands 2. And then the war loader can I'm trying to remember what it is. It's
so it says "fuck yeah." I think loader time.
Yeah, it's the war loader. Shoots rockets at you. And he has his trap, which is his new action skill. Yeah, is known as the gravity snare. And it's basically he throws a trap on the ground, and within a limited space, it'll basically pulse, and every once in a while it'll pick people up. Okay. And where basically it kind of acts as like a crowd control ability. All right, that's Flex. So with Zane, Zane basically gets the so once again, stealing other ideas from older Borderlands games, Zane gets a shoulder-mounted cannon with which basically is the bottom of Wilhelm in the pre-sequel. One of his skill trees basically gave him a shoulder-mounted cannon. Now Zane has that. And it's basically that one focuses more on... I'm trying to remember what that one focuses on. It's not movement speed, because the fucking middle one is. I think that one focuses more on him getting critical hits. Okay. Which, fun fact, on the hardest difficulty in the game, he can one-shot bosses now.
He can one-shot bosses?
Yes.
Shit.
With being the highest level in the game, being on Mayhem 10, or technically now Mayhem 11, which is also coming. Yeah. He can one-shot bosses.
Fuck.
You know, people bitching about Flak being OP, but then they let that fucking thing happen. But basically, it's for Borderlands 2 fans, halfway down that skill tree, he gets basically a skill like Bower. Okay. From Borderlands 2, which was the best fucking ability in the game. Because once again, you could one-shot a boss, but this one has nothing to do with him being able to one-shot people. Yeah. All right, that's basically his whole thing. Of where it focuses on doing all that. And then obviously there's like the skill augments you can take on the side. Of where like the cannon does like different elements and stuff like that. Moe's has the Iron Cub, which basically Moe's was the only one that was like stuck exactly to having just one playstyle. Of where her action skill was always Iron Bear.
So no matter what tree you picked, it was always the same playstyle?
Yeah. Yeah, it was always it only changed what weapons Iron Bear had. So for instance, the different things you could have a flamethrower, you could have a rocket launcher or grenade launcher, and then a minigun. Now, Iron Cub makes it to where you don't have to have Iron Bear out. You just spawn a little Iron Bear.
Okay. Little pet Iron Bear? Little pet?
Yeah. That one Moe's and Amara are the ones that I don't exactly really know everything of.
Because you don't play them?
So, well, no, not just that. It's also I didn't really watch anything on them. It's more or less I just know what their abilities are. Yeah. I'm trying to remember. I think that one's probably about... I don't want to say survivability because I think that's what the red tree for Moe's was. That one's also probably about critical hits. I don't know. Okay. And then Amara's, I believe she shoots out an orb. Like that's as far as I know, and I think
how hyped should people be for these? Because the article I'm looking at says this was from just last week, the 21st. So this is an old story we're talking about.
They should be pretty hyped. They come out on the 10th. They're available to everyone on the 10th. Yeah. Certain YouTubers have them already. Like
Dave's birthday. Happy birthday to Dave. Here's some new skill trees.
Yeah, it's with these, they go live on the 10th. Probably around that time is when we're going to get the price for the season pass, or the second season pass. Yeah. Which, I do want to vent for a second about that.
Go ahead. You do.
People need to stop bitching about the second season pass. Because they need to realize, one, you got exactly what you paid for. The season pass, first one, literally says you get all 4 DLCs, or the first 4 DLCs.
This conversation before.
Yes, and I literally said, I'm fitting this in somewhere, and this is where I'm fucking fitting it in.
Yep, go ahead.
Literally. And the people are like, I paid $100 for, I should get all the content. It's like, no, dipshit, because one, the thing already said you get the season pass and pre-order content.
Mm-hmm.
Season pass said 4 story DLCs.
Yeah.
You want to know how many story DLCs we've had? I'll give you a hint. It's 1 less than 5.
Oh, 4.
Yeah.
4.
Season pass 1.
Big brain math right there. Big brain math.
Yeah. Yeah. The season 1 pass has already ended. They're moving into season 2 pass, and people are like, oh, I should get it because I paid money for it. It's like, congratulations. I also paid money to play Madden. If I could have that money back, I'd take it back in a fucking heartbeat.
Did you pay or did someone else pay?
I mean, I've bought stuff in-game.
Yeah, I know. I'm just fucking with you.
Yeah, so it's stupid. People just need to get the fuck over it. I get it. Paying for 2 season passes if you spend $100 is not fun. That's called read up on what you fucking get.
But is it like Destiny though, where you think you're getting a full game but you're not?
Well,
if it ain't like that,
Borderlands 3 was a full game at launch.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, it could be worse. You could be like Destiny, to where it's like you don't get a full game at launch, and then you got to buy 4 DLCs just to fucking get the full game.
I mean, don't worry. There's people who just hate Borderlands 3 because it's not 2, so... But that's a different topic for a different day.
But Soapy, the last thing, let's move on. Last thing we've got today. A little Pokemon news. A little Pokemon Go news. Apparently, this date, I'm going to look up the date in a second because I'm going to go ahead and show another picture. Apparently, coming to Pokemon Go is and I'm going to fuck up the name, the Galarian.
It's Galarian.
Galarian? Oh, I want to say Galarian. The Galarian Ponyta.
Man, look at that cutie.
So, the tweet that Pokemon Go put out said, while exploring the world of Pokemon Go, Professor Willow spotted a beautiful, colorful Pokemon that he has never seen before. Luckily, he was able to take some quick snapshots before it ran away. Stay tuned. And this is the picture of the snapshot that we got. This one's zooming in so you can kind of see a little Galarian Ponyta coming to Pokemon Go. People are thinking this is in coordination with the Galarian Ponyta coming to Sword and Shield. So it's a nice little update of if you want to go and catch yourself a Ponyta, you can go ahead. As the other one looked like this. So this was the other picture, and the other one before was the first one. Soapy, any thoughts on the Galarian Ponyta coming to Pokemon Go?
I mean, that's cool. I don't play Pokemon Go, so
used to.
Shout out to anyone who does.
I used to, but let's be honest. In days of a pandemic, like, I see people walking, and I know it's easy to just like put on a mask and walk, but it's like, I don't want to run into anybody. I don't want to be around anybody. I'm one of the people that is like, dude, just lock down. Let's stay at home, man. I'm a fucking homebody anyways. So not being around people, make sure I don't get the disease. But hey, if you're Pokemon going out there, make sure you go get yourself a Galarian Ponyta.
They need to add fucking Sir Farfetch'd in. AKA the I don't know if it's... I know it's not Galarian, but...
Do they have normal Farfetches in there? I've been out of Pokemon
If they don't,
Go
they need to
so
put
long.
Sir Farfetch'd in there because that man's got a goddamn lance.
Yes, he does.
Tell me one Pokemon that's got a lance. Oh, wait. Ain't no one.
None of them.
I mean, I say that, but Beedrill has fucking 2 of them because Beedrill's the best Pokemon ever.
Farfetch was always the one in Pokemon that I used to learn Cut, so that I can cut some branches.
Yeah, he's basically an HM slave.
Yeah, basically that's what he was for me. Fly, cut. I think he could even learn Surf, which was weird.
Fun fact, Farfetch could not learn Fly. He's the only flying type in Gen 1 that could not learn Fly.
Oh, then it was Pidgey. Then it was the Pidgey into Pidgeotto into Pidgeot.
Yeah, Farfetch is the one that holds the leak.
Yeah, I know that, but I was
also.
trying
I'm
to
just
think
saying,
of...
we had the Pokemon basketball argument. I'm saying right now, Dodrio is the best fucking flying type in first gen, and you can't argue with me.
Was Farfetch'd able to learn Surf?
No,
because I know
Farfetch could barely learn anything.
I know there was a weird Pokemon that I didn't think would be able to learn Surf, but
I
it
mean,
did.
Pikachu can learn it.
No, that wasn't Pikachu.
I mean, Pikachu can't learn it, though.
Now it's gonna.
I don't know why, but
now it's gonna drive me crazy. It's gonna drive me absolutely nuts. But that's gonna do it for MVP Games Live. Thank you guys for checking us out today. We will be back tomorrow. Remember, join the Discord link down below if you're on YouTube. !Discord into Twitch chat to get that link to join it right now. If you want to support us, you enjoyed the show, want to support us, patreon.com/MVPvids is one way you can do that. You can also throw us a sub on Twitch, where we are live every Monday through Friday, twitch.tv/MVPvids, but we are also on YouTube at MVP Entertainment. Want to thank you guys for watching. For the Twitch viewers, MVP Sports is coming up next, and as always, have a good day, everybody.
Bye.